Hi, ladies and gentlemen. For today's video, I'm going to talk about fundamentals of taxation. Are you ready? Okay, let's begin. Now, let's have nature of taxation. Taxation is a state power exercised through the country's legislative body. The principle of taxation states that taxes are collected to support the government in its expenses and services for public welfare. Reciprocal duties of protection and support between the state and its citizens. The Constitution also states that revenues through taxation must only be used for government operation and for public welfare. Okay. Taxation has been defined as the power of the sovereign to impose burdens or charges upon persons, property or property rights for the use and support of the government to be able to discharge its function. It is one of the inherent powers of the state. And now let's have purpose. The purpose of taxation is to raise revenues from all possible sources to support government expenditures and services and to promote the general well-being and protection of its citizens. Taxes safeguard newly opened industries to pioneering in new industries and other enterprises. Taxes also shield domestic procedures by levying a much higher custom duties on imported goods. Okay, and also the most basic function of taxation is to fund government expenditures rather. Varying justifications and explanations for taxes have been offered throughout history. Early taxes were used to support the ruling classes, raise armies, and build defenses. Often the authority to tax stemmed from divine or um, supranational rights. Okay? Okay, let's proceed to canons of taxation. Canons of taxation refer to the basic principles of a sound tax system which identify the following: fiscal adequacy, administrative feasibility, and theoretical justice. Okay, why canon of taxation is important? Okay, rich people are capable of paying more taxes than poor people. Thus, justice demands that the person having greater ability to pay must pay large taxes. If everyone is asked to pay taxes according to his ability, then sacrifices of all taxpayers become equal. This is the essence of canon of equality. Okay? Now let's have fiscal adequacy. Taxes collected by the Bureau of International Revenue or BIR must be sufficient enough to fund the necessary government expenditures and basic services in a given fiscal year. Revenues must be capable of adjusting to variations in public expenditures. And now let's proceed to administrative feasibility. Payment of taxes must be taxpayer friendly. Okay, theoretical justice, ability to pay principle. Basis of taxation. First, the Constitution, the fundamental law of the land. Second, statutes, laws passed by the Congress or presidential decrees. Third, Bureau of International Revenue rules and regulations. Number 4, judicial decision on tax cases by the Supreme Court. Number 5, provincial, city, and municipal ordinances. Number 6, observance of international agreements. Number 7, administrative rulings and opinions. That's number 7. So these are the basis of taxation, and I know all of you are familiar with this. Okay? Let's proceed now to objects of taxation. Individuals who earned a considerable amount of income as a worker or as a businessman in partnerships or corporations, including those who inherited a property or given a gift or donation of a considerable value. Number 2, we have tangible or intangible properties, whether personal properties, movable properties that can be moved or relocated, or real properties, immovable properties. Okay? And lastly, transactions, consumptions, interest, imports and exports, and privileges. Okay, and also the basis objective of taxation is to raise resources for the state. It can be used to reduce inequalities, to accelerate economic development as a tool of regulate consumptions, imports and exports, in addition to its basic objective of raising revenues. Okay? Now let's have situs of taxation. Situs is a Latin term for place or location. It refers to the place where taxes are to be paid. First, income tax. This is paid either in the place where the income is earned or the place of residence of taxpayer. Number 2, real property tax. This is paid where the property is situated. And number 3, personal property tax. Okay. Taxes on intangible properties are paid in the place where the property is located, similar to real property tax. Situs of taxations of intangible properties is the owner domicile. This refers to the place of permanent residence of the owner. And for number 4, business and occupation taxes. This is paid in the place where the business or occupation is located. Okay, let's have limitations of taxation. Inherent limitations are rooted in the nature of taxation itself. These are the limitations that are not affected by changes in the provisions of the constitutions. First, the tax revenues must only be used for public purpose. Second, there should be proper delegation of legislative power to task. Third, government entities are exempted. Fourth, there are territorial jurisdictions. Lastly, there is an observance of international law. Okay? Constitutional limitations of taxations are those limitations provided in the Constitution. These limitations are more subject to change when a new constitution is introduced in the country. Okay? Observance of due process of law. Article 3, Section 14.1 of the Constitution says that no person shall be held to answer for a criminal offense without due process of law. You know, due process is a requirement that legal matters be resolved according to established rules and principles. Okay? I hope you understand that. And that individuals be treated fairly. Due process applies to both civil and criminal matters. Okay? Double taxation refers to an instance when an income, a property, or a transaction was imposed with two or more taxes by taxing authority in the same year. Occurs when an object of taxation was levied with two or more taxes from a single task basis. Okay? Direct duplicate, same income tax twice. And also indirect duplicate, taxes that are paid by the same individuals or corporation based on two or more a different taxing basis. And also the question of government taxing itself. The government may be tasked if it derived profit in the exercise of its proprietary capacity, and not when the revenues were gained from the exercise of governmental responsibility. Okay, the government functions in its governmental capacity when it serves the people and delivers basic services to them. And the government acts in its proprietary capacity when it's function for profit. Okay, now let's have avoiding taxation. These are the other concepts related to taxation in terms of avoidance of non payment. So we have shifting. This is the passing on of the task burden from one person to another. Okay? Task shift is a kind of economic phenomenon in which the task payer transfer the task burden to the purchaser or supplier by increasing the sales price or depressing the purchase price during the process of commodity exchange. Okay, task shift is the redistribution of task burden. And capitalization, this is done by reducing the price of taxable product or service to lower the task that will be imposed on its consumption. Okay? And now let's have task tax avoidance. Refers to the availing by the taxpayer of legally allowable means in reducing the minimizing the tax during I mean due task tax due on certain properties, items, and services. Okay, we have tax minimization. And for the tax evasion, refers to the use by the taxpayer of illegal means in escaping, defeating, or lessening rather the task due. So we have a task dodging. Okay, and task exemption, the bestowal of immunity by the taxing authority on a taxpayer from the obligations of tax payment. Okay, and that would be all. Thank you. Have a great day.